Okay guys, here it goes. This is the LS brand XG3140H tractor with a loader and 3-point hydrostatic transmission. And I want to kind of talk to you guys today about the research I did in looking for a tractor, why I decided on the LS, and what I think of this tractor. I've only had it for 4 days, so I've got about 8 hours on it, 8.5 hours on it. So this isn't going to be, an all-inclusive, conclusive review. It's more of a, I guess, unboxing, although this is too big to put in a box. So anyway, we've owned a Homestead for quite a while, and we've always needed and wanted to get a tractor. This one, so this year we started looking for a tractor, and there were several models that I looked at. Started out looking at the Kubota 25 horsepower model tractor. I don't remember the model number, but similar in size to this one. It's actually a little smaller than this one. I looked at Massey Ferguson, I looked at Case, I looked at New Holland, I looked at Yanmar, and John Deere. So all those tractors. And I wasn't looking for the best deal necessarily. I mean, I wasn't looking for the cheapest tractor. I was looking for the best deal, but not the cheapest tractor. So when I first saw the LS, I just kind of dismissed it because I just assumed that it was an off-brand and that the price would be low because it wasn't as high of a standard as, say, the Kubota or the John Deere. Boy, I could not have been more wrong. Let's start with the John Deere. The John Deere that was even close to comparable in price didn't have a detachable front loader. It just had the basic functions and functionality. It didn't have as large of an engine. It was lighter duty, and it had fiberglass body panels. The LS has all metal body panels. And the John Deere's price point was quite a bit higher than the LS. So honestly, the John Deere was ruled out early on in the process. Kubota the same way. The tractor was physically smaller and lighter in weight, and lighter duty than the LS. The Yanmar was, I'm honest, be honest with you, it was 1,000 pounds lighter than this tractor. Well, actually more than that, than this tractor. It was 1,000 pounds lighter than the Massey Ferguson I looked at. I was looking at 25 horsepower class tractors, and that's what I was going to get, kind of not a subcompact, but a compact tractor. So I went and looked at Massey Ferguson, and the Massey Ferguson tractor was a stripped down basic tractor, but it had a lot of things I liked, had a couple things I didn't like. One thing is that the bucket, the hydraulics on the front end were very jerky. They weren't very smooth and acting. And so I didn't want to have a situation, because my kids are probably going to be using this tractor, and I want them to have smooth controls. And my wife is also going to be using this tractor. So I didn't want a tractor that was too big, but so I had come home and I had decided that I was going to probably buy the Massey Ferguson. And then my wife said, have you looked at Case tractors? You like your farm hauls. Did you know that they had farm hauls in a compact tractor? I said, no, I didn't. So I looked up the farm haul tractor, and I was pretty compelled. And then I did some more digging into the Farmall, and I discovered that Farmall, the case, subcompact, and compact lines are made by, lo and behold, LS. So I thought that was very interesting. And then, even more research, I discovered that LS also makes the Montana and the New Holland compact and subcompact tractors. So at that point, it was just a matter of price versus brand, and the LS won out on price and quality. It was the best tractor. Usually you don't find situations like this. Usually you find that the cheapest tractor is going to be the cheapestly built tractor. And that was the case. The Yanmar was the cheapest tractor. And to be honest with you, compared to the other brands, it just didn't measure up. It was 1,000 pounds lighter. It wasn't as heavy duty. It didn't have near the capacity of lift capacity, and it just was an altogether smaller tractor. When you're looking at a tractor, weight is an incredibly important thing. I went with the LS, because of a few reasons. One is I could get a 40 horse tractor class, a bigger frame tractor, a heavier tractor for the same price as the Massey Ferguson, lighter 25 horsepower tractor, and almost the same, essentially the same price. Here's the things that I like about this tractor the most. One is this tractor has the heaviest mount for the loader that I looked at, that I saw. I mean, you can see how thick this piece of metal is. It's almost a full inch. I bet you that's 7/8 inch thick metal holding that loader on. And this is over 1/4 inch plate here, double thick. So it's probably well, anyway, it's heavy duty. Another thing I liked about this is that it has these two individual pedals for the hydrostatic drive transmission. So it's got a forward pedal and a reverse pedal, and that's on the standard model, where everything else that was only on the premium models. Same way with this joystick control for the bucket. This joystick came standard. All the other tractors had, that had, the lower price tractor models had the controls up here on the loader. They didn't have them at a convenient joystick location. This tractor had, it's got the rubber floor mat, which is a little bit of a positive. It's not a huge, it wouldn't be a deal breaker if it didn't have it. And it had one thing that I didn't like, which I actually might like more. The Yanmar and the Yanmar I looked at had a top mount fuel tank, surprisingly. I know the one that we've seen on YouTube has a side mount tank, so but at any rate, this one has a rear tank right here behind the seat. And I like that for a couple reasons. One is there's no danger of getting fuel spilled on your paint job, and it's down lower, easier to access from the back than it would be up on the hood. Now, yeah, it would be easier to access if it was on the side, but on the side, honestly, if I'm going to do some logging, I'm kind of afraid that it might get damaged. So, oops, I found the one plastic component here, the fuel tank, which I think is a very good idea, to have a plastic fuel tank. metal fuel tanks rust out pretty quickly. So I think that's a good idea. Good on them, good on LS. But you can see all the body panels are metal. Well, except for this dash. This is plastic here. But this is metal. This grate, metal, this headlight bezel. You would think that that would be plastic. Nope, it's metal. Same with this grill up here. All metal. The axle was heavier duty than all the others. Well, the Massey's axle was just as heavy duty. Massey Ferguson. Honestly, I almost bought the Massey, but this was just a better deal. And I can get over the blue paint. I do like my red paint, but blue is just fine. So, okay, so and another thing about this LS is, you know, it has the same kind of 3-point that all the others have, but it's got a little bit easier of an adjustable system here than most of your standard stuff does. And yeah, that's about it about this. I had them add rear hydraulic remotes to it. It didn't cost much extra to do that. Let's see what else about this tractor. Well, let's get it started up so you can hear it run. It's got a 50-hour regen cycle. So if you guys have been looking at tractors, you know what that means. A lot of them have like a 4 or 5 hour. This has a 50-hour, so you can go longer without the regen running. So we'll turn that on, let the glow plugs heat up, and start it up. Runs very smooth. It's not real loud at an idle. You crank it up, it'll get louder. But I really like the operation of this bucket, guys. Check this out. See if I can get this to. Very smooth. See if we can get this thing to pick itself up at an idle. Picked itself up, no problem, at an idle. Right off the ground, guys. Look at that. Freewheeling on the front. Let's get a look at it at the underside here. I really like this tractor so far, guys. I think this is one of the ones that are overlooked too often. It's got a 6-year warranty, and man, you just can't beat it. You just can't beat it. And I thought long and hard about this purchase, because I'm not one to buy new things. I'm not one to go in debt. And I'm not a rich person, so I had to go in debt to buy this tractor. Okay, so I've not actually gone into debt for anything for 10 years. For so long that 2 credit reporting agencies I had no score at 2 agencies. It wasn't that I had a bad score, I just had none. There was no credit history. And I'm over 40 years old. So that motivated me to kind of get a credit score going, because we got to refinance our mortgage to get a better deal. But at any rate, I decided to buy this tractor because to me this is a lifelong purchase. It's not like a truck where you're going to drive it for 5-10 years at the most, and then sell it and get something else. Tractor like this, I'm going to keep for my entire life. So I took a long time to make the decision, and so far I don't regret it at all. The amount of work that I've got to accomplish with this tractor in the last 4 days is beyond belief. Things that have been irking me for months and years. Things that get put off because, you know, it's either too difficult or too too expensive to rent the equipment to justify that task. So it gets put off. It doesn't get done. And I got to tell you, having the tool to do the job is amazing. And I've had older tractors. I have a case backhoe, an old from the 70s case backhoe. And you would think that would do a lot of things. But the thing about an old tractor like that is that every time you want to go do something, you got to work on the tractor. You got to work on the tractor. You got to do something. Yeah, I know a new tractor can break down too, but not nearly as likely. And I'm going to get a lot of hours use out of this before it ever breaks down. And essentially, guys, these tractors are primarily the same. There's not a lot of difference between these tractors as far as brand goes. It's really small things that I ended up making this decision on. Price and some of the better quality items. Really all the compact tractors are good. And as highly priced as the used ones are, doesn't justify, in my mind, not getting a new one. Because with the new one you get a warranty, and you get an unused tractor that you can break in, that you can get all the kinks worked out. It hasn't been abused and all that stuff. But I'm sorry to ramble on, but I think that of all the things that you could decide to buy new, a tractor is probably one of the best things that you could buy for a homestead. But I want to tell you guys, you do not need a new tractor to do a homestead. You don't need anything but your own back. You can do all these things, all the things that you need to do, and I have for years. I've done, for almost 20 years now. We've run this homestead without a daily tractor. I mean, I would consider this a daily tractor. With the other tractors, it was a monthly tractor. Once a month, you got the ambition enough to go out and fix the tractor so you can use it for the day, and then put it away for another month so that you can fix it for a day and use it the next day. This just gets so much use. The guy that recommended getting a subcompact that I mentioned before, that has owned his for 20 years, he got his tractor 20 years ago, and he says he has used it every day since the day he bought it. I don't know how many things, even your car, there's got to be days that you don't drive it. So probably not doing enough moving around here in action shots, but yeah, if you're looking into a tractor and you have the budget for it, I would consider getting a new one. Just from my own experience and having spent years working on tractors, growing up working on old tractors, because Dad never bought a new tractor, Grandpa never bought a new tractor. But they were always out there in the yard doing something to the tractor because it was old, you know. You know, they were always at least 20 years old. So, but anyway, do what you want, guys. This is just my 2 cents worth about tractors, and I tell you, it sure is nice knowing that this winter I'll be able to come outside, start this tractor up, and do what I need to do. If I need to plow us out, I can. With the other old tractors that I have, they're great old tractors. They just weren't reliable enough to depend on for that kind of security, I guess. So, anyway, hope you guys liked this video. If you do, click the thumbs up. I know it's kind of long, but oh, and we're going to be doing a update video. I'll be doing a lot of videos with this tractor, so you get to see all the ins and outs and how it works. So if you're looking at buying one of these tractors, or if you're dreaming, I'm definitely going to, this tractor is going to be featured in a lot of our videos coming up. We're going to be doing logging and you know, gardening. We're going to do fence posts. So I got the post hole auger on the back. We're going to be doing fence posts and fences. And I've got forks for the front. We're going to move around logs. I've already moved a couple big logs. I've got that little ball on the front of the bucket there that I had my buddy weld on for me, and that is for chains and for moving trailers. But anyway, we're going to be using this tractor a ton. It's going to be in a lot of videos, and you're going to see it work, and you'll see if, you know, if you're looking at one of these, if it might be the right tractor for you. But anyway, I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.